Because no more.
What the fuck, man? Testing, testing. Hello, hello. We're going to be talking about the third eye in just a second. I'm getting live on TikTok right now. If you see nothing but blackness when you close your eyes, that is not the way that we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be able to see a light and much, much more when you close your eyes. So please put a B in the chat if you only see blackness. This is how I was 7 years ago. I could only see blackness when I closed my eyes, but now I can see much more than blackness. So I really want to hear who I'm talking to. If you can see more than blackness when you close your eyes, put a comment down below and let people know what you guys see when you close your eyes. Thank you guys for being here. If you're here, it's not a coincidence. God, your higher self, brought you to this live to hear this information, to open your third eye to the point where you can see a light. When you close your eyes, you should see a light. And when you focus on that light, you should be able to open up a black hole to different dimensions and different realms. In these realms, I have seen different entities. I've seen grays, I've seen reptilians, I've seen lion-like humanoid beings, I've seen cat-like humanoid beings. And it is so amazing, but it's an indicator that your spiritual antenna is working properly, your pineal gland. So if you're only seeing blackness when you close your eyes, you know that your pineal gland is covered in rock and metal minerals, and you need to bust those off to get it to work properly so that you can manifest your desires more quickly and accurately, so that you can read other people's energies around you. When you go around people, you should be able to sense what they are thinking before they even say anything. You should be able to sense whether they don't like you or whether they're in a bad mood, things like that. You should also be able to draw in spiritual intuition very easily and quickly. So when you are like looking for your keys, or say you're in traffic, say you're about to get in an accident, you should be able to draw in intuition to guide you away from that accident. So that's another powerful ability that is linked to having your pineal gland, your spiritual antenna, working properly. So please put a B in the chat if you see only blackness when you close your eyes, because that's an indicator that your pineal gland is calcified. And mine was like this 7 years ago, but I was able to unlock it. I figured out how to clean it off. Yeah, I can't talk about that, but thank you for saying that. Yeah, yeah, the environment has all sorts of things that are making our gland get calcified, and you can absolutely clean it off. It's an indicator that your pineal gland is coated in metals and inorganic minerals from our environment, from a lot of different sources, from our food, from the air, things like that. And you can absolutely clean those off and fix that gland, with a variety of different detoxification techniques. And I put together a whole guide on how to do that. If you're interested, it's linked in my bio. But I'm going to talk about as much as I can in here. I just have to be careful what I say. I can't talk about everything that's in the guide. There's a lot to cover. So if you're in a hurry, you could grab the guide. It's only $4.99. So there's a lot of ancillary benefits of going through this protocol to cleanse your vessel, to get your pineal gland fully open to where you can see this light. I'm going to talk about what I see when I close my eyes, because there's new people here. So if you could just tap that screen or click the like button on YouTube, if you could do that for me, and then also share the live. If you could share the live a couple times, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. So when I close my eyes, immediately when I close my eyes, I see a blue light in the center of my vision. When I focus on this blue light, it starts to spin like it looks like a liquidy lotus flower is what the Vedics call it. And when I continue to focus on this lotus flower, a black hole opens up, and I can start astral traveling through the hole at great speeds and get to these different realms and dimensions. In these different dimensions, I have seen different entities of different shapes and sizes, different beings. I've seen some that you would recognize. I've seen the gray aliens, some that have big eyes, some that have littler eyes. They're black eyes. And some that have big heads at the top, their heads are like really big, and some that have littler heads. There's such a wide variety of these entities and beings. It is so amazing. You really have to witness it yourself. Now, you don't have to interact in these realities. Once you get your third eye open, you can choose whether you want to interact in these realities or not. But it's an indicator that your spiritual antenna is working properly. And the benefit of having your spiritual antenna working properly is you're able to manifest more accurately, more quickly. So manifestation is where you magnetize your desires to you. So this is what Jesus talked about. He wanted us to be able to magnetize all of our desires and all of our needs and wants to us very easily and accurately. That's why he always talked about cleansing our vessel. And that's what you have to do to fix this issue. If you're only seeing blackness when you close your eyes, this means that your pineal gland has an encasement of inorganic metals and minerals that need to be quite literally busted off. And you can absolutely do that. There are a lot of different tools that you can use to clean them off. One of them, if you only take one thing away from this live, this information I will give you for free. I have a whole host of different tools that you can use. Linked in my bio, there's a guide, and it's only $4.99. In that guide, I talk about this specific thing, which is distilled water. Distilled water is one of the most powerful things to cleanse your entire body, including your pineal gland, your third eye. So what happens when you drink distilled water is it has an amazing ability to vacuum out minerals that should not be in your body and other toxic things, metals, things like that. So put in the chat, do you guys drink distilled water already? What do you drink? Do you drink alkaline water? Do you drink well water? Do you drink, tell me what kind of water you drink right now. And I'll tell you why some of those waters are not the most ideal thing to drink. Joseph, awesome. So hydrogen water, I actually found out recently that hydrogen water, it's cool, but if you take distilled water and try to put it in a hydrogen water creating machine, it actually doesn't do anything because distilled water already has a ton of hydrogen in it. So when you drink distilled water, you don't even need a hydrogen water creator. So that's an amazing thing I found out recently. Well water reverse osmosis. So that is not bad. That's probably the second best. And it's not far from the first best, which is distilled water. The reason why it's not the first best is because there's still a little bit of dissolved solids in there. Also, you have to make sure that your RO system is maintained properly. So you need to be changing the membranes, changing the pre-filters pretty regularly to get that to work right. Otherwise, you're going to have bacterias and different things in there that you don't want. That's why distilled water, well, it's one reason why distilled water is the best, because it's the absolute purest water you can get. It has 0 parts per million of total dissolved solids. So well water, spring water, alkaline water, those waters all have rock minerals in them. And you'd think that maybe this is a good thing. The minerals are actually good for you. Yeah, Poetic Soul, drinking spring water over whatever you were drinking prior to that is probably a good thing. However, if you're trying to cleanse your entire vessel and get your pineal gland fully open, the best thing you can do is drink distilled water because of the fact that it has such an amazing ability to vacuum out toxicity from your body, including the toxic minerals and metals that are in your body. Yeah, so the minerals in spring water. Yeah, Tiff. Yeah, I think we used to be blue. I think in like that's why in Avatar the beings were blue. For the YouTube people, I have a graphic behind me. It's a blue Jesus with a third eye, and I love it. AI created it. I wished YouTube had the same green screen capabilities. I'm gonna work on getting an actual green screen so I can do that there. For you guys on TikTok, I'm also streaming on YouTube. So by the way, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get me there if for some reason I can't go live on TikTok, because sometimes that happens from time to time. So yeah, so back to the water. Okay, so spring water, well water, all of those waters with minerals in them. Those minerals are actually inorganic minerals and they cannot be utilized by the body. So they actually get stored away in different places in your body and cause stiffness and pain. And also it doesn't have that amazing ability. My YouTube is right up here, right at the top right there. It says subscribe to my YouTube. It's Kevin Travels the Universe. And so back to the water. The inorganic minerals in that water, they can't be utilized. Think about it like this. So the water in a well or that's coming up from a spring, it starts down here in the ground, right? And then it percolates up through rocks and dirt. And as it goes through there, it's actually picking up the dirt and rock minerals. But have you ever heard of people sucking on rocks for minerals? Because that is not a thing, right? Tell me if you've heard of someone sucking on a rock for minerals. Tell me down below. So actually you need a plant to convert these minerals that are in the dirt into organic minerals. That's why you never hear about anybody putting dirt in their water for their minerals, because if that worked, all you would have to do is drink distilled water with rock minerals, or throw a handful of dirt in the water, and there you go. Then you'd have your minerals. But unfortunately, you can't do that. So that's why distilled water is so powerful. And the fact that it has 0 parts per million total dissolved solids, it has nothing in it, that means that it can vacuum out these inorganic minerals. Josh, you did? Okay, that's interesting, but I think they may have been, so someone said they do suck on rock, the settlers sucked on rocks, but I don't think that was actually working for them. They may have thought that it was helping them, but I don't think that would actually help you. And that's why today you never hear of anybody doing that. I have never heard of anybody sucking on a rock. I'm slobbering over a rock right now. Actually, I don't even remember exactly where I've learned all this information. It's a conglomeration from a lot of different sources. It's hard to remember. I've been doing research on natural health for probably 20 years. When I was 17 years old, I was diagnosed with the big C cells in my esophagus, and that set me on a mission to figure out health and natural health because the doctors didn't really have an answer for that. And I was able to fix that issue. I had hiatal hernia and acid reflux and things like that, and I was able to get rid of those. I had an endoscopy to confirm that I had that, and then after I did all the things that I learned, I had another endoscopy and found out that I was able to fix that with the things that I learned. Yeah, so the amazing thing about distilled water, you can believe me or not, and you can still drink the spring water if you want. However, if I am right, the distilled water is still going to be the most beneficial water for you to drink when you're trying to purify your body. So maybe do this. Once you get your pineal gland cleaned off with distilled water and the other list of things that I have in my guide, then switch back to spring water if you really believe that those minerals are absorbable by the body, which they're positively charged. The minerals in our body are negatively charged. That's why distilled water, it will pull out the positively charged things. Most of the toxicity in our body is actually positively charged. That's why distilled water is so powerful, because it's also, not only is it empty water, which means it can suck in so much. It has a great holding capacity for toxicity. It also is charged negatively, so it only attaches to positively charged things. And things like our bone minerals and our teeth minerals are negatively charged. So if you know about magnets, two negatives do not attract each other. So it doesn't take any of the positive, the good, the beneficial minerals out of our body, like our teeth minerals and our bone minerals. So if you take away only one thing from this live, this free information I'm giving about distilled water, if you could switch to distilled water only for about a month, you will notice the difference in your life. It is one of the most powerful things you could do for yourself. Thank you guys for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share arrow and the copy button. Thank you for on YouTube clicking the like button and sharing over there too if you can. All right, guys. So during this process, during this protocol that I developed to get my third eye all the way open to the point where I see this light when I close my eyes, I also lost 55 pounds, and I've always been overweight. I had a size 42 pants at my worst. So this is another ancillary benefit of going through the protocols that I've got in my guide. And put in the chat, are you guys struggling with weight loss? Put a W if you're struggling with losing weight, because I can tell you a lot about why you have the issue of weight, excess weight. All right, cool. Yeah, so let me tell you about that. So there's a few things that's causing you to hold extra weight. Some of it is your hormonal system is not properly functioning. So during this protocol, you will completely regenerate and revitalize your entire body. So every cell in your body, every gland in your body will start to get revitalized. Once you get rid of the toxicity that's in your body, the toxic metals, that's what you need to do. This will also, someone said how to open the pineal gland. This is how you open it. You have to get the toxicity, you have to get the metals out of your body entirely. What you've got going on in your head right now, if you're only seeing blackness when you close your eyes, you've got toxicity that needs to come out of your body. You've got an encasement of metals and inorganic minerals on your pineal gland that you need to bust off. And you can absolutely do that. You just have to do a lot of cleansing. And it will take probably 6 months. It will take probably 6 months to a year. Depends on how calcified you are, how old you are. The older you are, the more calcified you probably are. If you're drinking a lot of high parts per million water, then you're more calcified. So that'll take a little longer. So back to the weight loss. So weight is actually toxicity. That is where all of the toxicity in your body is stored, or most of it at least, is stored in your fat, okay? So to get rid of all of that extra weight, if you're trying to get rid of that last bit of weight, or you're trying to get rid of a lot of weight. Cool, someone said they see a blue light and yellow surrounding it. I would continue to cleanse. If you can't actually focus on that light and get it to open up a tunnel to these different dimensions, I would continue to cleanse and do the things that I'm talking about, the things in my guide, to get it further enhanced to where you can astral travel to these different dimensions, and also astral travel on the earth. So back to the weight loss. So in my protocols, I have a supplement that is recommended, and it is iodine. Everybody is severely deficient in iodine, and this is going to increase your metabolism. This is going to make it to where you can get your weight off and keep it off. This is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. It's going to increase your energy. It's also going to increase your IQ. If you research it, mothers that don't have enough iodine, their babies don't have as high of an IQ. So this is a very powerful mineral that we used to have in our food system. They used to use it in cleaning the vats for milk and also for bread, but now they use bromine, which is actually not good for you. Yeah, Tiff. Okay, so the bromine is now stuck on your thyroid where it should have iodine. So if you don't have enough iodine, that's what happens. But once you start taking enough iodine, and my guide is worth the $4.99 just for the iodine protocol alone, because of all the things I just talked about. Now, when you get enough iodine, what happens is the iodine will kick off the bromine and other metals that are on your pineal gland and your thyroid. So this is so beneficial for getting your third eye all the way open to see this light that I'm talking about, and to hey guys, and to get your weight down. So to get your weight off, you can absolutely get your weight off by following these protocols. Thank you guys for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share arrow and the copy button. Let's get to, we're at 1.1K likes. Let's get to 5K likes. Thank you guys on YouTube. Yeah. I'm in Thailand, loving Thailand. Thailand is my desired reality, and I have absolutely manifested my desired reality by coming to Thailand. I was invited to a house in Thailand. My friends, I just made these new friends. They just came into my life, and now I live in Thailand. I've been here for over a month. I'm actually staying here for free in a villa, and it's so beautiful. It's got marble floors, 5 bedroom, 6 bathroom, and I just cannot be happier. So if you have desires and you want to manifest your desires, the best way to do this is to cleanse your vessel. This is what Jesus talked about. He wanted us to fast and use pure water. Things like enemas as well are another powerful thing. Gosh. Technical difficulties here. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. One of my lights is not working well, and I need a new light. I need to manifest a new light, guys. I'm fixing it right now. Just give me 1 sec. Here we go. One moment. All right, there we go. All right, can you guys hear me okay? Everything fell down. I had this light that was set up, and I was trying to put the charger on it, and it knocked everything over. Okay, guys, so back to the weight loss. Actually, let's talk about the third eye for a second. I'll come back to the weight loss, okay? So, third eye, if you're only seeing blackness when you close your eyes, you know that your spiritual abilities are not fully online, and you can fix this. What you have going on is a gland, the pineal gland, in your head, and instead of being a squishy gland, it's got an encasement of metals and rock minerals that need to be busted off. Catherine, there's a lot more that you can do. There's a lot of supplements that you can take to hasten the metals coming off of your gland. There's other things, techniques. I have protocols for parasite removals, enemas, sun gazing, all sorts of different things that you can do. Foods as well. Food recommendations, menu or recipe ideas, a beautiful recipe for a salad, different herbal teas. So if you want to get all of the information I know on these subjects, the subject of health and also opening your third eye to the complete capacity of being able to see this light when you close your eyes and see into different dimensions, you can grab my guide by clicking my name at the top here, and then once my face pops up here on TikTok, go over to my website there in my bio, and it's at the top for only $4.99. You can grab it. You can look at the reviews below at the bottom as well before you buy it. Awesome. So someone said I can see light now, the bright light. Awesome, Coco. Did you? I remember you from before. Did you get my guide, Coco? I think you're here from before. Awesome, you did. Okay, cool. So have you been doing the protocols for a little while now? Maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks? Yeah, there's so much that you can do to clean your body, to clean your vessel. All right, guys. So if you're here, it's not a coincidence. God, your higher self, brought you to this live to open your third eye. Power in the blood. One of the best things you can do is get my guide. It's a 10-page guide. If you want to open your third eye, it's got everything you need to know. There's so much to cover in this live. I can't cover it all. Plus, there's stuff I can't say here on TikTok. So if you want the full uncensored package of everything I know on the subject of health and opening your third eye to the complete capacity of where you can see a light when you close your eyes, the best thing you can do is start with that guide. I also do calls for only $9.99. I just changed that to be accessible, more accessible to you guys. I really want to help. I'm on a mission to open everybody's third eye and also to help your health. So the other ancillary, there's a lot of ancillary benefits to opening your third eye. So one is the weight loss. I talked about that earlier, but I'm going to tell you just again real quick. I lost 55 pounds by following these protocols. I've gotten down to my ideal body weight where now I can see my abs. I have never been able to see my abs my whole entire life. I've always been an overweight person, and so that's an amazing ability or effect from following these protocols. And so if you want to do that, that's another reason to do this protocol. So you can get your, yeah, thank you, Tiff. Yeah, so, and you don't have to be perfect with this either. You can still cheat. Coco, are you cheating? Tell me a little bit about what you're doing. We've got Coco over here. She's been following my protocols for a little while, and now she's starting to see this light. I lost 66 pounds, and I got jacked. I've been lifting now for about a year. Awesome, Billy. Yeah, I work out. I like working out too. And I love how to buy. If you click my name, then click my face once it pops up right here, then go over to my website. It's linked right there at the top. And then the guide is at the top of my website. It's only $4.99. And at the bottom, you could read the reviews before you buy it. You could pretend like you bought a coffee while we're hanging out on this live, but instead you drank some of my distilled water instead, which is much better for you. I talked about that earlier. Tell me again in the comments if you want me to tell you why distilled water is so preferable. Let me check the comments over here. Hey guys. Sorry guys, I'm going live on YouTube as well. So by the way, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If I'm not here for some reason, go over to my YouTube channel. I will be live over there. All right, guys. So, yeah, Jesus does love us. Jesus does love us. My YouTube channel is right there at the top. Kevin Travels the Universe. So, Jesus does love us. That's why he was telling us to cleanse our bodies. He kept telling us to fast. You've heard of Jesus fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. That's so that he could get his spiritual antenna fully online to the point where he can see that light and see into these different realms, connect to these different realms, manifest from these realms. Our manifestations actually occur in these realms. Also our memories. So if you have memory issues, this is another thing that's going to be helped by following these protocols. Your memory is going to be so much better because our memories are actually stored kind of like a cloud. They're not stored in your vessel, in your head. They're stored in these other realms. That's why when you have things that affect your memory, they're just while you're here in this realm. Once you leave this realm, your consciousness moves on and you will be able to access those memories again, clear as day. So, but you could do it here. Why not do it here? Why not get your vessel working properly to where your memories work well here? And so that your body works well here as well. You can do this at any age. My dad is 75 years old and I put him on my protocols, and you absolutely can, Queen Margie. You can. My dad's 75 years old. I put him on my protocols, and his mental state was declining very rapidly, and I was able to get it to now it is better than it's ever been. And I attribute a lot of that to my iodine protocol, which is so powerful at cleaning out metals and minerals from your body that should not be there and increasing your mental capacity. So you can absolutely do this. He also he got off of his blood pressure medication. After 20 years of needing blood pressure medication, he is now off of that completely. And now he's in the gym for an hour a day, which I told him he doesn't need to work out for that long. But he likes working out, so he's doing that. And he's actually been gaining muscle. At age 75, he's been flexing and showing me his muscle that he's gaining. It's amazing. So no matter what your age is, you can absolutely fix your health. You can also get your third eye open if you want to do this astral traveling that I'm talking about. Just by following my protocols, Coco asked, how did he get off his blood pressure medication? By following my protocols, sticking to the diet, okay? And also all the other things that I recommend in my guide, which Coco has my guide, so just read my guide. Oh, by the way, Coco, do you have the 10-page guide? Because I recently added 2 pages to it. And if you don't have the full 10-page guide, I will send you it for free, okay? So just DM me on TikTok, okay? Queen Margie, did you get my guide? Did you get my guide? Are you following my protocols? All right, guys, thank you so much for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share arrow and the copy button. And I'm going to tell you again what I see when I close my eyes. If you only see blackness when you close your eyes, put a B in the chat so I know who I'm talking to here. You can get My Pure Water is one that I really like. My Pure Water, Google that. All right, thank you for the interactions, guys. Tell me if you only see blackness, put a B in the chat. Thank you for tapping that screen as much as you can. Thank you for clicking the share arrow and the copy button. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. That is going to be where I'm at when TikTok is not available. Sometimes I cannot come on TikTok because of some of the things that I say, which I have to be very careful. That's why I'm being very careful on here. And I also have a private Facebook group. If you want to join that, I'm doing group live coaching on there. You can access all of my services like that through my bio. If you go to my bio on YouTube, also if you click my name on TikTok, click my name, click my face, and go over to my website. At the top, you can find my guide for $4.99. I made it so cheap so that it's super accessible, little sweat off your back. Queen Margie, you're here for a reason. Did you not get my guide or not? I didn't see if you, did you say, oh yeah, you haven't got my guide. Okay, Queen Margie, I can absolutely help you. Start with getting my guide. It's only $4.99. Start with that, and then if you want further assistance, I can help you on a call. I only charge $9.99 for calls. And I have done this 7 years ago. I only saw blackness when I closed my eyes. And now I can see auras, I can see into these different dimensions. I'll talk about what I see in just a second. Put a B in the chat if you want me to talk about what I see when I close my eyes. I want to see how many new people I have here and what you guys want me to talk about. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Okay, guys. Cool. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share arrow and the copy button. If you could do it a few times, it will greatly help spread this information far and wide. We need to get everybody's third eye open so that we can manifest a better world together collectively. This is my overarching goal of doing these lives, is to be able to get people to manifest our desired reality. The new Garden of Eden is what we need to manifest together, and we absolutely can. We just have to work on ourselves. So what I see when I close my eyes is a blue light. Immediately when I close my eyes, in the center of my vision, I see a blue light. When I focus on that blue light, it starts to spin and it turns into this liquidy lotus flower. And when I continue to focus on it, a black hole opens up and I can travel through to different realms and different realities. In these realms, I've seen different beings, some of which you will recognize. I've seen humanoid cat-like beings. I've seen humanoid lion-like beings. I've also seen gray aliens of different shapes and sizes. Some have big heads, some of them have littler heads, some have big eyes, some of them have littler eyes. I've also seen reptilians, different species of them as well. I've also seen dragons and angels, and they're all, it's like a beautiful video game in my head. It's like a video game screen opens up in my head, and I can have these experiences. And it's such an amazing ability, and I was so excited when I first opened it up 7 years ago. And this really put me on a mission to further enhance the ability and do as much as I could to figure out how to cleanse my body more and to get it to work to optimize my body to the point where now I can see all sorts of different things when I go into these different realms. And I've gotten my body into the best shape it's ever been in. I'm 42 years old, and I never used to be able to see my abs. My whole entire life, I could never see my abs. I lost 55 pounds while doing this protocol, and I've been able to keep it off even while cheating. I still cheat pretty regularly. What kind of alchemy? Yes, I do believe in alchemy. Alright guys, so the weight loss is a big deal, and to be able to keep it off for 7 years, it's never coming back. I've reset my body. It's not genetics. If you guys have weight to lose, I can absolutely help you get your weight off. And you don't have to work out a lot, and you can still cheat. I like to say, consider whatever you're eating currently a cheat, and cheat less and less and less. Over time, cheat where you're only cheating like once a week, once every week and a half, every 2 weeks, and then eventually you'll be bringing in more of the stuff from my protocols, and you'll feel so much better. And eventually you'll get this third eye open, and you'll get all the weight off of you. You'll be able to keep it off of you. All right guys, so it also helps you get off or get rid of depression and anxiety and pain in your body. So do you guys have any problems with those things? Let's take a quick poll. Do you guys want me to talk about getting rid of pain in your body, depression and anxiety, or losing weight, or do you just want me to talk about the third eye? Do you want to talk about the third eye benefits, or like how to get it cleansed? I can talk about any of those issues. Let's take a quick poll. Just put in the comments what you guys want me to talk about. Third eye cleanse, okay. All right, so let's talk about the third eye and cleansing the third eye. So right now, all right, we'll talk about weight in a little bit, Melissa. So cleansing your pineal gland, it is a whole body cleanse that you have to do. You can't just cleanse your pineal gland. So that's why I like to talk about the ancillary benefits as well, because there are numerous ancillary benefits. But cleaning off the pineal gland, what's going on, if you're only seeing blackness when you close your eyes, your pineal gland, instead of it being a squishy gland, it's got an encasement of rock minerals and metals that need to come off of it. And what you can do is slowly but surely run things like distilled water. That's one of the most important things that you can switch to. If you get anything out of this live, switch to distilled water. That's going to run over your gland over and over and over and take the metals off of your gland and the minerals off of the gland. And eventually, there's a lot of other things you can do as well. You can also do enemas. There's supplements you can take. In my guide, again, if you want to get my guide, it's got all of the information you need. There's a supplement list. There's protocols for enemas, for sun gazing, which is another powerful thing. Parasite removals. You want to get the parasites out of you. Those are causing your addictions to run rampant. So if you want to get the full download on everything I know, the full uncensored download, you click my name, then click my face, and go over to my website. It's linked right there in the bio. You can get my guide at the top for $4.99. There's also calls available for only $9.99. I made them so cheap so that I'm super accessible to you guys to help you get your third eye all the way open, but also get your weight, any extra weight that you have on you, off. And then, so back to the third eye. So cleansing the third eye, you really have to cleanse your entire body. Now, the benefits of getting your third eye open are numerous as well. I'm going to go into those a little bit real quick. So, manifestation, if you haven't heard of that, that is where you can magnetize your desires, your desired reality. You can imagine the things that you want, and they will start to come to you. You'll start to magnetize them to you. And that is an amazing thing that the pineal gland does for you when it's functioning properly. So you've got to get it to where you can see this light when you close your eyes. Once you can see this light, you know that you're becoming a super strong magnet for all of your desires. So you're also going to be able to draw in spiritual intuition. And that intuition is what's going to help you fix things in your life. So if you've got problems in your life, even as simple as like, where's my keys? You can draw in intuition to find out where your keys are. You also, if you're say you're driving on a cliff, on the side of a mountain, and you're about to like go off the cliff on accident, that spiritual intuition can come in and guide you back on the road. It has saved me from so many different things like that. It's amazing. We have a whole spirit guide team, guardian angel team waiting for us in these spiritual realms. But a lot of us, if we only see blackness when we close our eyes, we're not able to they aren't able to access us. So they're actually trying to send us information right now, and they're not able to get it to us directly. And that's why I say, if you're here right now, it's not a coincidence. God, your higher self, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, they all led you to this live to hear this information, to fix your health, to also fix your wealth by better manifestation. Okay, they're sending you this message through TikTok because they can't get to you directly. So once you clean your body out to a certain extent, you're going to be able to draw in that spiritual intuition directly. You're going to start downloading information. You're going to start getting answers to problems in your life. So that's a beautiful benefit of this. So the next benefit of going through this protocol and opening your third eye is losing all of your extra weight. Now, this is also beneficial for opening your third eye, but hear me out. So the weight that you have is toxicity. So your weight, the fat that you have on you is holding a lot of toxicity. So to get that toxic waste out of your body, this cleanse that we're talking about, that's going to help get all that toxicity out of your body. And if you also stop bringing in toxicity into your body, if you clean out your house, if you get rid of all those toxic chemicals that you're using to clean your house, to clean your body, that's going to help you get rid of the toxic waste that's in your body right now. So it's really important for your weight loss and for your opening your third eye to get the toxicity out of your life entirely, out of the food that you're eating, out of the cleansers you're using to clean your house, to clean your laundry, to clean yourself. All of those things are absolutely not helping you cleanse your body. So if you're trying to get your third eye all the way open, you need to cleanse a lot of toxicity and metals and things out of your body, but your body can only get rid of so much at once. That's why it's really beneficial to focus on everything as a whole. And in my guide, I've got a whole list of the things that you need to avoid and get out of your life. And that's where I would suggest the people that have bought my guide, I would suggest going first the protocol for parasite removal. That's going to help you so much. Thank you for saying that, Maria. Thank you so much. Yeah, so the parasite protocol to remove parasites is going to help you get on this protocol and stick to the diet much more easily, because those parasites, they have their little clutches in your your addictions are caused by these parasites. They can control your mind. They can make you want to go eat things that you know you shouldn't eat. So getting the parasites out of your body, that's where I would start with my guide. I've got 2 different protocols for removing parasites, and I would start with getting one of the substances at least for that. Then I would go down to the supplement list and get iodine. Iodine is it's one of the most powerful things that you could supplement with. If you can only afford one of the supplements out of that list, I would go with the iodine. That is such a powerful supplement for getting metals out of your body, but also getting your metabolism working well so that you can lose all that extra weight and keep it off almost effortlessly. You can still cheat, but you don't want to cheat. I mean, you have to adhere to the protocols somewhat, so you can't just always cheat, or you're not going to make any progress. But you can cheat. I cheat actually quite often now that I've opened my third eye and I've been able to keep it open. So you'd be surprised how much progress you can make without cheating a lot. With cheating a little bit, you can cheat still. Ivermectin, I think that's an unnatural substance, and I wouldn't really use that. I would use the natural ones that I recommend in my guide. The parasite protocols in my guide are the best. They use all natural products, and those are going to be super helpful for you. All right, guys, so what do you guys want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about opening the third eye? Let's take a little poll. You want me to talk about getting rid of pain in your body or getting rid of your weight? I lost 55 pounds during this protocol, so I can help you get the weight off your body. Do you want to hear about getting rid of depression and anxiety or getting your addictions, getting rid of addictions? This is another thing. This is what I developed this protocol for initially, was to get rid of addictions. Yes, Tina, yes. It's all in the same guide. The parasite protocol is in the same guide. And again, if you want to get my guide with the full uncensored package of information, that everything that I know on the subject of health and opening your third eye, if you click my name and click my face and go over to my website, it's linked right there at the top. You can read reviews before you buy it. I've sold over 1,000 of these guides, and there are only positive responses from people. People come into my lives and they tell me good things, and it'll be the best $4.99 you spend on yourself. I guarantee it. You will save $5 in medical bills alone. One trip to a urgent care is like $100. So you will not get sick anymore after you start following my guide. Awesome, Melissa. Yeah, so the thing that when you get sick and you have all this mucus that's coming out of your body, that is toxicity. So once you get the toxicity low in your body, you won't have a reason to get sick anymore. So when you're around people that are sick, I have found that it's actually like when you sneeze and then other people around you start sneezing, that's what happens with sickness. So when you go around someone who's sick, your body analyzes itself and says, do I need to release toxicity too? And so when I am around people that are sick, sometimes I get a slight bit of symptoms, but most of the time, recently I was around someone very close, and they were diagnosed through the doctor with bronchitis, and I didn't get any symptoms at all. So that alone, yes, Jen, yes, the iodine protocol will help you with a lot of that. Will help you with that for sure. I'm sorry, I have to be very careful with what I say. So the protocols that I have will definitely help you with that, okay? Jen, I suggest you grab my guide, read it over, and if you want further assistance, you can we can get on a call. It's only $9.99 for my calls. I just recently put them to that level so that it's a little sweat off your back to get on a direct call with me. All right, guys, so what do you guys want me to talk about? Weight loss, or the third eye, opening the third eye, or the other ancillary benefits of getting rid of your depression and anxiety, pain in your body? Let's take a quick poll. Shelly, if you follow my protocols, okay, that's going to require some effort on your part. But yes, if you follow my protocols, once you get completely cleansed of all the toxicity in your body, you will never get sick again. Or if you do, it'll be very minimal symptoms, and it will go away very quickly. So the times of having all sorts of phlegm that needs to be coughed up and blown out of your nose, that is your lymph that needs to come out of your body only when you have a lot of toxicity in it. So once you get rid of the toxicity, then you don't have any toxicity to release, and therefore there's no reason to get sick. So think about the term the flu, and then think about a fireplace with the flue. What does the fireplace flue do? It releases the smoke from the fireplace, okay? That's why the flue is called the flue. You release all the toxic waste from your body. You flue it out, okay? So once you get rid of the toxicity from your body, then there's nothing to flue out of your body. So yes, colds, sicknesses like that, flu, all that stuff. I have not been sick since the time of the 2020 era. And that's when I was not following my protocols like I am now. And so I went through a pretty bad sickness around 2020. How much will it cost then? The guide is only $4.99. Again, if you want to get everything I know on the subject of health and opening your third eye to the point where you see a light, click on my name and then go to my face right here, click on my face and go over to my website. Over on YouTube, you can go to my bio and you'll find my guide there. All right, guys, so yes, your sickness can be eradicated. Catherine, you can, however, I would try to get off of medication. If you can get off of medication, that's going to be the best thing. Talk to your doctor, of course. I don't know what medication you're talking about. And if you want to get on a specific, if you want to get specific, I would actually grab a call with me. They're only $9.99. And I can absolutely help guide you with what you're talking about there. Yes, Blue Jesus. AI made that picture. I didn't say to make it blue. For some reason, it came out blue. Sometimes AI is a little funny like that. So Sunbode, vaping is the worst thing that you could do. You've got to get off the vapes, okay? And addictions are one thing that my guide will help you with. That is the reason why I started the whole process of opening my third eye, was getting off addictions. Now I've gotten to the point where I'm on no substances at all, not even coffee. So if you want to get off of any addictive substances, any medications that you think that you should get off of, or your doctor thinks you should get off of, this is the best way to get off of these things. And I'll tell you why. If you guys want to hear about that, put an A for addiction in the chat. Oh. All right, guys, cool. All right, so yeah, a lot of people are on substances that they need to get off of, even if it's just coffee. So I even got off of coffee. And coffee burns out your adrenal glands. It makes you run off of adrenaline. So you really want to get off of coffee too. And I'll tell you how you can, and it's all related to each other. The addictions, quitting addictions, and the energy thing. So, and hear me out. Hear the logic behind what I'm going to say, because it's going to be a triggering thing for a lot of people because of all the stuff that's told to us. Now, carbohydrates. Listen to that term, carbohydrate. Why is hydrate in that term? Because, and you can look this up, you can fact check me, to have full hydration of your entire body, head to toe, including your brain, every cell in your body, your muscles, you need enough carbohydrates, okay? And carbohydrates also are the quickest way to lower your stress hormone, cortisol. So if you're trying to quit any substance, the best way to do that is to lower your stress hormone, cortisol, for one. The next thing it does is it increases your dopamine, which is your feel-good neurotransmitter. And it also gives you the drive. It makes you want to get up and do something and focus on something. So dopamine is a very powerful, that's like one of the best things that you could do for your body. And that is increased by increasing carbohydrates. Every single cell in your body runs off of carbohydrates. And so if you're not fully energized, you're not going to have the energy to get up and go and do the things that you want to do. Which, when you quit substances, especially the serious substances, this is one of the biggest things that happens. You want to just lay in bed, you don't feel good, you don't feel happy, and your body gets stressed out. So the carbohydrates help you fight all of that, okay? The next thing about addictions and substances, getting off of substances, healthy carbohydrates are sweet, juicy fruits. So you want to get melons, grapes, things like that. Especially right now, we're coming into melon season, but also things like peaches and plums and anything that's sweet and juicy. You want to get as much of that inside of you as possible. And you don't have to be perfect with this. You can consider whatever you're currently eating a cheat, and just cheat less and less and less. Over time, bring in more of the stuff from my protocols, and then you're going to feel better and better, quicker and quicker. And then get to the point where you're not cheating, where you're only cheating like once a week, maybe once a week and a half, every 2 weeks. Depends on how many problems you have that you're trying to overcome. Obviously, the more problems you have, the more you're going to have to be strict with this protocol, this set of protocols. Again, if you want to get all of the protocols that I have, an uncensored guide, I can't talk about everything in this live. because I'm not allowed to. Also, it's a lot of information to cover. It's a 10-page guide. There's a lot of different protocols on cleansing your vessel, a list of supplements, a list of things to avoid that you want to do if you want to get this thing all the way open, and also fix your health. There's a lot of things you need to avoid. So if you want to get the full download from me to you, uncensored, click my name, click my face right here once it pops up, and go over to my website. It's linked at the top of the website for only $4.99. You can grab that. And you could also get a call with me for only $9.99. Healthy breads. I would still consider the healthiest bread that you can eat is sourdough, but I would still consider that a cheat. How did I awaken the inner eye? There's a lot of things I did, and that's what I put in my guide. I'm telling you as much as I can here, but there's so much I can't talk about. So if you're really interested in opening your third eye, I would suggest getting my guide. But it involved cleansing my body, switching my lifestyle, switching the foods that I was eating, switching the water that I was drinking to distilled water. I did intermittent fasting as well. That's another powerful thing. I have 3 different ways that you can go about cleansing your body and getting your third eye all the way open. I have a hard mode, which is where you are going to drink distilled water during the day. And at the end of the day, you're going to have fruits and a salad. And then the next way down, the medium way, is you're going to eat fruits and juices during the day. Then at the end of the day, you're going to have a big salad, a big savory salad. And then the slowest way, you're going to have the same thing during the day, but then at the end of the day, you're going to have a starch meal with vegetables. And that is you're still going to make progress no matter which way you go. Life is a marathon, so you don't have to be perfect with this. You're still going to make progress, even if you're not perfect. Boiled water, if it's making distilled water, that is great, but boiling water doesn't really do much for purifying the water. It may kill some parasites and bacteria, but other than that, it's not really going to help too much. So I would suggest getting distilled water. Get a water distiller. You could even make a water distiller. Does the guide include all ways you just spoke of? Yes. Yeah, the guide is a bullet style guide that you can follow easily. It's easy to read. There's a lot of information. The whys, the why nots, the do's, the don'ts, the supplement list. There's everything. It's a full, extensive guide that'll tell you everything that I know on the subject of natural health and also opening your third eye to the point where you can see this light that I'm talking about. Thank you guys for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share on the copy button. Let's see if we can get to 5K likes. We're at 2.4K likes. Thank you so much for your interactions. If you're here, it's not a coincidence. God, your higher self, brought you to this live to fix your health, to fix your wealth through better manifestation by opening your third eye. Thank you guys so much for your interactions. Thank you for everybody who's bought my guide. Thank you for the support. Please follow the guide as soon as you can so that you can feel better, so that you can start manifesting quickly and accurately. All right, guys, so what do you guys want me to talk about? Do you guys want me to talk about some of the ancillary benefits, like getting pain out of your body, getting weight off your body, or getting your depression and anxiety in check? Put a little comment. Tell me what you want to hear about the most. Let's take a quick poll. Come on, guys. I know most all of you in this live have one of those issues. Pain and weight. Okay. A couple more votes. Let's see. Anxiety. Okay. Depression and anxiety. Okay, there's 2 for depression and anxiety. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dodger. Thank you so much, Dodger. All right, guys. So let's talk, since we got 2 votes on anxiety and depression, let's talk about that, okay? So I got rid of severe depression and anxiety when I followed these protocols. And the way that I was able to do this, thanks, Dodger. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So the depression and anxiety, the best way to fix depression and anxiety is you're going to do the same thing. The same thing that opens your third eye, the same thing that gets your weight off of you, the same thing that gets the pain out of your body is going to fix your depression and anxiety. And I'm going to tell you how it applies to depression and anxiety. So if you were here when I talked about the addictions, it's those two things that I was talking about. Those are something that is very powerful for depression and anxiety as well. So lowering your cortisol levels, that is a stress hormone, and that is going to be so powerful for getting rid of your anxiety. If you have anxiety, it's because your cortisol levels are very high, and you need to lower them to the floor. The quickest way to do that is by intaking carbohydrates, okay? Now, hear me out before you get triggered by that. I know a lot of people think that carbohydrates are the worst thing in the world, but they're not. They're absolutely not. They are what hydrates your body. If you want to have full hydration in your body, if you want to age slower, we're talking about skin hydration, we're talking about hydration of your brain. You need enough carbohydrates, okay? And also for your depression and anxiety, if you are better hydrated, your brain is going to work better. Your neurotransmitters are going to work better. Everything's going to work better. So the neurotransmitter of dopamine, that's another very powerful neurotransmitter for depression. So if you have depression, you most likely have low dopamine levels. So carbohydrate intake also increases your dopamine levels. So that's another powerful thing that you can do for depression. And then another thing, a lot of people have 20 pounds of waste that's stuck in their guts, and this is causing all sorts of issues. What's happening is the stuff in your gut is putrefying, and those putrefaction chemicals are circulating through your body and causing irritability and other things. And it means also your neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, some of those are created in your gut, in your intestines. So if your intestines is full of this stuck waste, thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much. Thank you for tapping that screen, guys. Thank you for clicking the share on the copy button. Do it a few times if you can. Help spread this live, spread this information of love and light, fixing everybody's health, getting your third eye open. Thank you so much for those gifts. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So getting that waste out of your body is going to make you feel so much better. You will be amazed at how much better you can feel when you get all of that waste out of your body. And in my protocols, I have a thing called enemas. If you've never done an enema, this is going to change your life. You are going to be so happy that you did an enema, okay? And once you do it, you will never go back. You will be doing them very often. So in my guide, I tell you why they're good for you. I tell you how to do them, what you need to do them, and you will see so much come out of you. The enema is such a powerful thing. Jesus even talked about these in the Essene Gospel of Peace. This is a book that was omitted from the Bible because it was so powerful. They didn't want the normal people to see this book in the Bible, so they omitted it. He talks about Jesus does, using enemas, using gourds for enemas, which now we have enema bags that are much more comfortable and easy to use. So it's actually putting water, or a solution up your bum and then releasing it. And it helps get all of the waste out of your body. It helps, okay? It's not the only thing that you need to do or can do to get that waste out. You also need to start drinking distilled water, and you need to eat more fruits because those are going to hydrate your body. So the fruits are going to hydrate things in your gut as well. That hydration is going to help get the stuff that's stuck inside of your intestines fully hydrated, and then it will start to come out of you. That's what you want. You want to get this set of tubes in your intestines fully clean, and that's going to help you with your depression. It's also going to help you with opening your third eye, because the toxicity that needs to come out of your body, the cleaner your intestines are, the more that they can vacuum that toxicity out of your body completely. Thank you for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share on the copy buttons, guys. So that is the Essene Gospel of Peace. Essene, Gospel of Peace. Yeah, so the fruits, ideally they would be organic, but if you can't find organic fruits, some of the thick-skinned things like oranges and melons, it's not as important to get those organic. So they don't have to be organic, but it is more ideal to use organic fruits if you can. All right, guys. So again, if you want to get the full download on everything I know on the subject of health and opening your third eye to the point where you can see this light, click my name, click my face, and go over to my website. It's only $4.99. I made it so cheap so that people could do this with little sweat off your back, and so that you can fix your health with little investment. Because I know people are struggling, and I'm doing God's work here. I only need a little bit for my bills, and that's all I'm asking for is a little bit. I also do calls for $9.99, where we can go over your personal situation and come up with personal solutions for your situation. I tend to channel in information directly for you. Oftentimes after my calls, I write more in my guide. I extend my guide because I come up with new things. New things come in. So this is the spiritual intuition that I was talking about earlier. It is so powerful. And I get that now, and it just directly comes into you. Sometimes at the oddest of times, you'll just have a knowing, and information will just come into you, and it's such a beautiful thing. And I want all of you guys to be able to experience this. That's why I'm doing these lives. You're welcome, Melissa. All right, guys. So what do you guys want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about the third eye opening? Do you want me to talk about weight loss? Do you want me to talk about pain in your body, depression and anxiety? I already talked about that, so let's move on to something else. Addiction, getting off addictive substances. That's something else that this guide will help you with. Let's take a poll. If you just put in the comments, tell me what you guys want me to talk about out of all those things. I really appreciate your guys' interactions. It's so nice to be able to interact with you guys and meet people that are interested in the same thing. Katrina wants the third eye. Okay. Anybody else? Pain. Okay, pain. Anybody else for pain? I would love to talk about pain. Anybody else have pain in their body? I know you guys have pain. You guys have all of these issues. I know because I take polls all the time. Okay. Okay, Katrina, all of this protocol will help with the third eye. So are you looking for the benefits of opening the third eye, or like how to do it? So I'm going to go into pain. But just know that this protocol will absolutely open your third eye to the point where you can see a light. You can focus on this light, open up a tunnel to different realms, know that your manifestation abilities are fully online. See you later. Bye, sissy. Okay, so shoulder pain, you got shoulder pain? All right, so the pain. If you have pain in your body, it is because of acidic waste that you're bringing into your body, okay? This acidity is coming from the lifestyle that you're living, the foods that you're eating. So if you want to open your third eye, there's a lot to do that, okay? And I would suggest getting my guide. It's only $4.99. If you're really serious about this, I can't talk about everything on this live, okay? I'll talk about as much as I can, but if you're really serious about opening your third eye, I put everything that I did 7 years ago to do this in a guide, and all the stuff that I've learned since opening my third eye to further enhance this ability. So if you want to click my name, click my face, and go over to my website, it's only $4.99. You can pretend like you bought a coffee while we're hanging out here on this live, but instead you drank some of my distilled water. All right, so pain. We're going to talk about pain. Awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. You pin that comment. All right, guys. So the pain in your body is caused by acidity from the foods that you're bringing into your body. Okay. Now we have been told that we need so much protein and so much fat, but these things are actually acids. It's in the name. They tell us the truth in plain sight. Amino acid, fatty acid, okay? We don't need a lot of amino acids. I'm 42 years old, I don't take testosterone therapy, and I have a good amount of muscle, and I eat a low protein diet, okay? I eat a low fat, low protein diet. And So this allows me to get the acidity out of my body. Instead of bringing in so much acidity, I'm bringing in such a low amount. And then also my carbohydrates, listen to that term, carbohydrate. You need carbohydrates to fully hydrate your body from head to toe. To get full hydration, you have to have enough carbohydrates, okay? So the carbohydrates that I'm recommending also are alkalizing. They bring in alkalizing minerals. So from fruits and green salads, green juices, these things are going to help pull out that acidity from your body. Wherever the acidity is, wherever you have pain in your body, whether it's in your shoulder, your back, wherever it's at, it's acidic waste that's built up in there. This is the same type of acidity that if I squeezed it onto your skin, it would burn your skin. That's being stored in your body, and it's going to cause major problems in the future if you don't address it now. Okay, if you've got pain, that's an indicator that you need to fix something in your body. So that is the cause of pain, and that's also, I gave you some of what you need to get that pain out of your body. Okay, my guide, if you follow my protocols, it will take all of the pain out of your body. I had herniated discs quite regularly. I had just overall pain all over my back to where I couldn't stand up straight without pain in my body. And now it's super liquidy and I can just have no problem with pain anymore in my back. And some people, the pain goes to their knees or their shoulders or their necks. Wherever you have pain in your body, this is what's causing it, okay? So you've got to get that acidity out of your body. So what happens, let me talk a little bit more about the lifestyle and carbohydrates and why they're so beneficial for you. Okay, your body will convert. Your body needs carbohydrates so bad that it will convert these proteins and fats into carbohydrates, but it does it in such an inefficient way that you're not getting enough carbohydrates. Also, you're getting acidic buildup, that acidic waste that I just talked about that's causing you pain, that is causing you the pain problems. But it's also, it can cause bone problems and teeth problems because it has to be buffered. This acidity has to be buffered by calcium from your bones and your teeth. So if you've got teeth issues or osteoporosis issues, this is another thing that you need to focus on and be aware of that's not helping you with those issues, okay? So if you've got teeth issues especially, that's one of the big things I would start with is lowering your amino acids and your fatty acids, because those are literal acids that you're bringing into your body, and you don't need a lot of them. We're told we need all these amino acids, but we don't. I have a pretty good amount of muscle, and I don't take a lot of amino acids. So we've been told a lie, okay guys? We've been told many lies. I know you guys know we've been told many lies, right? So the carbohydrates, you need enough carbohydrates to fully energize your entire body, to get enough dopamine to where you're going to feel good, to be able to get in the flow state and stay in that flow state. You need the rocket fuel that carbohydrates are. You need to completely top off your carbohydrate tank so that you're fully hydrated as well. If you want to age better, I look 5 to 10 years younger today than I did 5 years ago. And I attribute a lot of that to the carbohydrate intake. If you want your skin to age slower, we can't destroy the evil completely. Only Sophia can, since she created it. We can manifest our reality though. We can use our manifestation abilities to manifest a more beautiful reality, a reality more full of positivity. Hollywood uses our manifestation abilities. They try to use our manifestation abilities against us. That's why they put out so many of those dark movies. They know that we have a powerful ability to manifest. And they're trying to wield our manifestation abilities, but it's starting to not work. I know of a lot of people that are just not watching those things anymore. I can't stand to watch. Tell me in the chat, are you guys into watching Hollywood movies anymore? Or the Netflix? Like, most of the stuff on Netflix is so dark nowadays, I can't stand to watch it. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share arrow and the copy button. Thank you for being here. If you're here, it's not a coincidence. God, your higher self, brought you to this live to hear this information, to open your third eye to the point where you can see this light that I'm talking about and fix your health as well. There's a lot of ancillary benefits to doing this protocol. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I haven't, Alicia, I have not been watching, I haven't watched horror movies in forever. It's been so long. I hate those movies. Mushroom coffee is powerful. Love the mushroom coffee. Regular coffee makes you run on adrenaline. You want to be running off of carbohydrates. You want to get as much carbohydrates in your body as you possibly can. So back to that real quick. If you have too many amino acids and fatty acids in your diet, your body's not going to be able to get the carbohydrates into the cells easily. So your body really wants to just suck those carbohydrates right into the cells. But if you're eating too much fat and too much protein, it basically blocks the cell's ability to absorb those carbohydrates. So that's another reason why you want to lower the fatty acids and the amino acids to such an extent. And I know I've been doing this for a while, and I still am able to build good muscle and hold a good amount of muscle, especially for a 42-year-old man that doesn't take testosterone replacement therapy. Another thing, on the subject of hormones, if you are a woman or a man, your hormonal system can work so much better. One of the things that will help you with that is iodine. And I'll talk about iodine now for just a second. My guide is worth the $4.99 just for the iodine protocol. I can't tell you all about it because it's not allowed, but that will get your producing thyroid hormone to the proper amount. Okay? And that's going to help your metabolism. That's also going to help your other hormones work better. The other thing that iodine does is it increases your mental capabilities. Mothers that don't have enough of it, their babies don't have as high of an IQ. This is a very important mineral that a lot of people, 99% of the people here and in the whole world are deficient, like severely deficient in it. So I would highly suggest looking into that, getting my guide, checking out that little section in there, and then getting the iodine. It's only like 15 bucks. I don't make any money off of iodine. And I only get about $4 for my guide, guys. So after all the fees. So the guide is going to help you guys so much more than it helps me. Collectively, it helps me when you all buy my guide. But for the $4 I get, it's going to help you a lot more for the $5 you spend. All right, guys, thank you so much for tapping that screen. Thank you for clicking the share and the copy button. Again, if you want to get my guide, you click my name, click my face once it pops up, then go over to my website, linked right there in the bio. At the top, you can see my guide for $4.99. At the bottom, you can read reviews before you buy my guide. I've got a lot of good reviews for the guide and for my calls. I also do one-on-one calls for only $9.99. You can check those on the website as well. All right, guys, so what do you guys want me to talk about? Third eye opening, getting pain out of your body, getting all of your weight off of your body, fixing your depression and anxiety. Tell me what you guys want me to talk about the most out of all those things. Put a comment down below. Depression and anxiety. Okay. Anybody else want to vote? Put a comment down below. Depression, anxiety, pain, weight loss, opening your third eye. I'm going to take off in just a minute, guys. Let's answer the last bit of questions you guys have. Anemia. That's another thing that carbohydrates are going to help you. Fruit and carbohydrates are going to help you so much with. All right, so let's talk about depression and anxiety again. I just talked about it, but you must be new here. So the carbohydrates are going to help you with depression and anxiety. I'll tell you how. Anxiety is stress, okay? So the stress hormone cortisol is what you need to lower. The fastest way to lower the stress hormone cortisol is to eat carbohydrates, okay? So carbohydrates are so beneficial for so many reasons. The other thing that it's going to do for you is for depression, it's going to increase your dopamine, the neurotransmitter dopamine. That neurotransmitter is so powerful for making you feel better, getting you drive, getting you in the flow state. So those are two things that are really going to help you with your depression and anxiety. Mrs. J, what are you talking about? Alright guys, I'm just about to take off, so put any last questions you have in down below. Last chance to grab my guide. Also, I have a private Facebook group where I do live coaching, group coaching that you could join. If you want to get that, click my name, click my face once it pops up here, and go over to my website. It's linked right there at the top of the website is my guide for $4.99. At the bottom, you could read reviews before you buy the guide. Put any last questions in. If there's no other questions, I will be taking off for a little bit. Good to see you too, Mrs. J. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, all of your comments, questions, taps, all the taps. Thank you so much. We're at 10,000 likes. Awesome. I'm actually going to come back live in like 30 minutes, okay, if you guys want to come back. So put any last questions in, and then I'm going to take off for a little bit, and I'll be back in a little bit. You guys have any last questions before I go? All right, guys, I'm going to take off. It was wonderful experiencing this live with you guys, and I can't wait to see you in the next live. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Last chance also, I'll tell you one more time, the easiest way to get my stuff is while I'm in the live. So if you want to click my name, click my face, and then go over to my website, it's linked right there in my bio. You can see all of my products and services on that website and read reviews as well before you buy anything. Okay guys, thank you so much. We will see you soon.